Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to another writing lesson with Mrs. Burke. This week, we're continuing to learn about nonfiction in reading and writing, and we're learning how to be amazing nonfiction teachers and writers. Today, we're going to continue our study, and we're going to discuss conducting research, how to look up information about a topic. If you're ready, let's get started. So you might be wondering, how can I research a topic? I'm going to tell you a couple of different resources that you can use to learn more about a topic. But first, I want to share a little story with you. This summer, when I was outside in my yard, I was just kind of hanging out, looking at my plants and looking at the river in my backyard, when suddenly I looked down and I saw something black and white crawling around on the grass. And I said, "Oh, that looks like a baby skunk." And sure enough, I didn't get too close, but I looked a little closer and I saw not one, but two baby skunks. They were adorable from a safe distance away. Well, the first thing I did was I ran into my house to get my camera to take pictures of them because I thought they were so cute and I wanted to remember that moment. I even took some video of them. But when I was watching these little skunks play and run around in my yard, it got me curious and it made me wonder what the life of a skunk is like. So when I got to school this year, I found this book in my library, Smelly Skunks. And I know my students had the opportunity to hear this book in class, and maybe some other students might want to hear this book as well. You can ask your teacher. But when I opened this book and read about skunks, I learned a lot of very interesting facts. For example, did you know that the spray, that skunk spray, is actually a really stinky oil? It's an oil that the skunk makes. Not only that, but it's stored in pouches under their tail, and they can spray 6 times before they need to make more of that musky oil. Wow, those facts are amazing. I'm going to show you some resources that you can use when you want to research a topic that is interesting to you. Well, of course, we all know that we can read books, and you should have access to a lot of nonfiction books in your library at school. You might even have access to a lot of nonfiction books at home. If you don't, you can check out apps like Sora or Tumble Books or Reading A to Z. I love some of these books. I love National Geographic books because they have a lot of factual information about many different topics, and they do a good job of using all of those nonfiction text elements that good writers and readers need to learn. Gail Gibbons has wonderful nonfiction stories that teach about the world. And my personal favorite, I love Ordinary People Who Change the World, because those books are very exciting biographies that are told in a graphic novel format, but they include factual information. Boys and girls, you can visit a factual website to learn more information about a topic. Of course, we all know we love to use our friend Doug's site, Mystery Science. We also love to visit our friends Annie and Moby over at Brain Pop Jr. And there's another site for National Geographic, and it's Nat Geo Kids, and that is a great place to do research as well. Keep in mind, if you are doing research on the computer, you should be using approved Washingtonville websites when you are working during school hours. When you're outside of school hours, and if you're on your own Chromebook or doing your own research, you need to talk to a parent to make sure that you are going to appropriate websites. Oh, and no Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a website that has some facts, but people can go in there and make edits, and it's not always a great resource site. You can read articles. And Scholastic News are wonderful magazines with articles. This year, we're using Scholastic News digitally, but in the past, you may have used Scholastic News in your classroom. Scholastic News is loaded with factual information about the world around you and also current events. I love it when they have their little magazines about current events. Other magazines that are good for kids to read are Time for Kids. And some of you who might be Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts, you might get A Boy's Life, and you might be able to read some articles in there. And there's also some good magazines that are for girls as well, and plenty that are for all kids. So magazines are another good resource. So boys and girls, we talked about some great places where you can conduct research, where you can look for information about topics. You can check out books. You can check out reliable and safe websites, and you can also check out magazines. Our last lesson was about asking an expert. You can also speak to an expert when you are trying to research a topic. Now it's time for you to try it. You will have the opportunity to choose a topic and to do a little research about it. I have set up a Seesaw activity with a link to Brain Pop Junior. You're going to think about something that you'd like to research, and you're going to use Brain Pop Junior. You can watch one of the little clips about your topic, and then you can make a video telling me what you learned about that topic. Brain Pop Junior is nice because the videos are anywhere between 4 and 7 minutes long. So I think you'll enjoy watching them on your own and exploring on your own. All right, boys and girls, as always, do your best work. I'll see you next time.